I didn't just throw her out of a house. I deleted her from a server where she never had enough bandwidth to exist. There had always been a clear hierarchy in my universe, a pyramid of priorities where logic sits at the top and human feelings, that amorphous and unpredictable mass, occupy the base, just below the dust that gathers in my computer's cooling fans. I am Sheldon, and to me, life is a real-time strategy game in which every move must be calculated with surgical precision. Letitia, on the other hand, was the element of entropy. She was the rounding error that, in a moment of hormonal weakness that biologists insist on calling passion, I chose to ignore. But hardware doesn't lie, and systemware began to show long before that fateful night. I watched her move around my apartment like a poorly programmed bot, crashing into the walls of my routine with irritating persistence. She wanted attention, wanted quality time, terms that in my personal dictionary are synonymous with wasted processing power. I looked at her and saw an outdated interface, someone who still believed the real world had something to offer that an 8K simulation couldn't easily outperform, without the morning breath included. Sarcasm was my native language, the only way to translate my intellectual superiority into something she might, perhaps, process with her limited intellect. When she complained about the glare of my 3 monitors at 3 in the morning, I simply suggested she close her eyelids, since evolution designed them precisely to function as biological shutters. She didn't find it funny. But humor is a subjective variable, and I've always preferred objective data. The atmosphere in our apartment, which I preferred to call my operations base, was becoming saturated. Her drama was a thick fog trying to suffocate the purity of my circuits. Every sigh she let out while I was in the middle of an epic raid sounded like a critical error siren in my ears. I felt the vibration of the floor when she walked heavily, a tremor that, in my mind, threatened the stability of my external hard drive. I constantly wondered which line of code our relationship had corrupted. Maybe it was when she suggested we sell my collector's edition of a rare RPG to pay a car installment. Her audacity was almost admirable, if it weren't pathetic. I replied, with the calm of a digital monk, that a car was merely a means of transporting atoms from point A to point B, whereas that item was a fragment of computing history. She cried. Her crying had a specific frequency that gave me a tension headache, a white noise that kept me from hearing the footsteps